Hmm.
Hi friends, welcome to Cricket Caviar, and we are very excited. We are going to talk about Champions Trophy today. We are going to preview the three sides: Pakistan, India, and Australia to start with, and then we'll talk about rest of the teams. This is the ninth edition of the Champions Trophy, and the final is going to be played on 9th March. Panel today is Shikhar Verma, Abhinav, and are joining for the first time Kshitij. Guys, क्या मोरल है चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी से पहले? How are you guys feeling?
I think good to see.
Uh, yeah, Abhinav, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just saying that I think the way it is going in world cricket right now, right? I think it is only ICC tournaments, I think, which creates excitement when it comes to the ODI format, right? I think T20 test matches overall, I know like the fans in general are excited, but I think ODI's general sentiment is that obviously there are like phases in the game which obviously people don't enjoy now that इतना इतना एडवेंट ऑफ T20 हो चुका है. So I think ICC tournament is the only platform जहाँ पे still people like kind of follow like majority part of the ODIs, and given that I think Champions Trophy is going to be held in obviously Pakistan and Dubai, right? Which obviously brings, I would say, like some of the other teams into the competition as well. Like for example, Pakistan in general, right? So I mean, had this been in like SENA countries and all, then more or less, it's a fight between like those major three or four countries. So I think this kind of evens it out. So I feel this is going to be like really exciting in terms of the overall competition, and again, a lot of surprises I feel which will be there uh, as we see this tournament.
Yeah,
Yeah, Pratik, same feelings like Champions Trophy. The history-wise, it may not be comparable to the World Cup. It doesn't have the same history. And one thing that has been a bit sad is like there has been a lot of injuries ahead of the Champions Trophy. So I'm definitely going to miss out on some of the bigger stars like Bumrah, Cummins. Klaasen is also doubtful with a thumb injury. So yes, but still, an ICC event is an ICC event, and rightly said by Abhinav that nothing gets an Indian fan going like an ICC event. We are hungry for it. We have been deprived of it for a long part of the last decade. And yeah, man, so excited to see that this is probably the best chance and probably the last chance for a generation of Indian cricketers who are considered legends to actually win an ICC event. So yeah, quite excited about that.
Kshitij, what are your thoughts, man? Champions Trophy 2025.
Champions Trophy, I think, yeah, I mean, quite excited, but I mean, unlike all of you, what I am looking forward to is how Afghanistan performs. I think that's for
Oh,
me, they are a dark horse, and I mean, I'll not be surprised if they land up or are very close to qualifying this time around. So, I mean, I genuinely want them to move some places up and maybe like finish. I mean, second would be great, but I mean, even if they're third in that group, I mean, that'll be a good performance
it is big
from my end.
Afghanistan fan here. So I also wanted
Oh,
to give a
100%.
second round of preview on Sunday when we talk about Afghanistan.
Yeah. I mean, I did not know, but yeah, I mean, I mean, that's the team that I'm looking forward to apart from the other teams.
Yeah, the big names. Yeah, the big
Yep.
names.
Yep.
Absolutely. Like थोड़ा relevance कम है. Obviously 2017 के बाद suddenly 8 years के बाद tournament हो रहा है, and we have seen ODI cricket has faded away in all those years. Test cricket has risen. T20's cricket has like gone across the charts. Like it is obviously the most entertaining format. But अभी जस्ट क्या हुआ रिसेंटली जो कंट्रोवर्सी हुआ ना, लाइक कितना मुश्किल से तो चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी हो रहा है. पहले तो लग रहा था जो इंडिया पाकिस्तान का वो सॉल्व होगा क्या, कि पाकिस्तान में होगा, यूएई में होगा. तो आई एम ग्लैड कि वो सॉल्व हुआ. एंड देन जस्ट अभी रिसेंट ट्राई सीरीज हुई है ना, जिसका फाइनल अभी 1 घंटे पहले फिनिश हुआ है. उससे मुझे थोड़ा
Hmm.
पर्सनल मोटिवेशन मिला है. दैट सीरीज वाज वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग और एंटरटेनिंग. तो उसके बाद आई एम रियली लुकिंग फॉरवर्ड टू इट. सो with that, let me jump to the second my second slide, where we'll just recap for our audience very quickly what are the two groups. These are the two groups. India's group has Pakistan, New Zealand, and Bangladesh in it. And I was meeting Shikha for another video just before this, and we were hoping ki, what if Sri Lanka was that fourth team instead of Bangladesh? That would have been unbelievable group. But sadly for Sri Lankan fans, they are not qualified. And then in the group B, we can see Australia, England, South Africa, and Afghanistan. And what has happened is that after Australia sent the B side, it is very tricky to predict the two teams from this group. So yeah, again, I want to hear your thoughts about the two groups, guys.
Yeah, I think pretty straightforward, right? I think Group A honestly is the easier group.
Mm,
Obviously, Sri Lanka is not there. Again, not discounting Bangladesh, but I think probably the weakest team out of all the eight teams, to be honest, at least on paper and the current performance, right?
mm,
Pakistan, I feel that obviously in their own conditions, even in Dubai, like against us, I think they'll be obviously very challenging. Again, not saying that they're like better than India or New Zealand at least on paper and performance as well. But I think they're always challenging in Asian condition, right? And New Zealand, obviously, like I mean, honestly, I think it's high time. I think we stop calling them like as the dark horses, right?
I think
They
this is
are
the first
actually
tournament, Abhinav. I would agree they are not the dark horses this time. They are very strong contenders. I would.
exactly. They, I mean, yeah, they have like a very good team, and time again, I think they have beaten us as well. In even Asian conditions, be it T20, ODIs, everything in general. So I think like New Zealand in general is like pretty strong team. So Group A, but I still feel that, like in general, obviously competition between India, Pakistan, New Zealand. So
Mm,
let's see how that goes. And Group B is obviously the group of death. Again, Australia, I mean, had there been like a strong Australian seed, I mean, every Australian side is strong. Even the current one, I would say, is strong. Maybe not super strong now with all the injuries and everything. England, again, I think the way they're actually playing on paper, yeah, maybe some people might be discounting them, but I mean, you never know with England as well. I
yeah.
think it's their approach more than obviously the talent and the skills they have. I think that's the question mark over there. South Africa again, like doing overall pretty well recently in ICC tournaments.
Yes.
And at least till the semi-final and now even the final phase, I think that's where at least they're doing well. Post that, obviously we know what all happens, but at least in the league stages they are super strong. And then Afghanistan, yeah, even I am rooting for them honestly, and I in fact wouldn't be surprised, nor should it be like even like a should be called an upset, right? If Afghanistan beats any of these sides, right? I
Yeah,
think they're like
definitely.
super strong in these conditions. In fact, England beating Afghanistan would be kind of like an upset for me. I would go
Thoughts
until
already
that
being
level.
fired.
I will go until that level. So yeah, I think pretty exciting. So
And
let's see how that goes.
before I go to Shikhar and Kshitij, I also
Mm.
want to introduce guys that we are doing another poll contest, prediction contest for this Champions Trophy, and I will share the link in the description of the video today. There is a prediction contest. You have to you will get like new form every other week, and so you have to fill out your predictions for the next few matches. और उसमें अभी ना अर्ली प्रेडिक्शन प्री प्रेडिक्शन चल रहा है.
Hmm.
उसमें अर्ली
Okay.
रिजल्ट्स ये कह रहे हैं कि 3 people have predicted India to win the Champions Trophy and 2 people
Hmm.
have predicted to win New Zealand. So
New Zealand. Okay.
already New Zealand को काफी पिक करा जा रहा है. So yeah, I'll share the link for you guys also to fill.
Which is fine. I think that seems correct because obviously Australia ka, given that there have been like major injuries, right? That is the reason why I think people are not taking Australia into account for that. But yeah, New Zealand definitely is super strong. So
Shikhar.
let's see how that goes.
Yeah, I mean, see, man, Group B is like a non-Asian group except for Afghanistan. तो अगर एक्चुअली इसमें न्यूजीलैंड के जगह अफगानिस्तान आ जाता, स्वैप हो जाता, तो इसमें एक एशियन ग्रुप हो जाता और एक नॉन एशियन ग्रुप हो जाता. तो दैट इज माय ऑब्जर्वेशन दैट ग्रुप ए इज गोइंग टू बी मोर लाइक एन एशिया कप, और ग्रुप बी जो होगा दैट्स गोइंग टू बी मोर ऑफ यू नो नॉन एशिया कप, मतलब एक तरह से. तो या आई विल बी फॉलोइंग बोथ द ग्रुप्स वेरी क्लोजली. ऑफ कोर्स इंडिया के मैचेस तो हम देखेंगे ही. और इंडिया में वही है कि इसमें यही है, चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी का स्पेशलिटी क्या है कि वाई चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी स्टार्टेड. जैसे इंग्लिश प्रीमियर लीग है, उसमें एक लीग फॉर्मेट होता है और एक एफए कप होता है विच इज लाइक अ नॉकआउट टूर्नामेंट. चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी का इनिशिएशन था कि नॉकआउट एक टूर्नामेंट रहे विच विल गिव लॉट ऑफ रेवेन्यूज टू आईसीसी. बट ओवरऑल जो मैचेस हुए वो उतने इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं रहे थ्रू आउट चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी. एक्चुअली अगर आप देखो तो बहुत कम इंटरेस्टिंग मैचेस हुए. बहुत ज्यादा वन साइडेड. आप फाइनल्स भी देखो तो एक्सेप्ट फॉर वन फाइनल वेयर वेस्ट इंडीज एंड इंग्लैंड had a great final in 2004. उसके
Hmm.
अलावा आपको कोई फाइनल भी शायद याद नहीं होगा, ऑफ कोर्स इंडिया पाकिस्तान, वो भी वन साइडेड फाइनल था जिसमें
Yeah.
180 रन से हारी थी इंडिया।
And then श्रीलंका
तो
इंडिया का धुल गया था। Yes.
हाँ, श्रीलंका इंडिया वन वाज अ बिग डिसअपॉइंटमेंट। 2 बार वो मैच हुआ, दोनों बार बारिश हो गई। तो अब क्या है कि इसमें थोड़े इंटरेस्टिंग मैचेस होने चाहिए। एक बहुत मेजर फैक्टर यहाँ पे रहने वाला है, वो है ड्यू का। और वो चीज कौन सी टीम ज्यादा अच्छा कॉम्बैट करेगी, ये आई थिंक विल डिसाइड कि कौन सी टीम अच्छा करती है। और चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी अभी भी वही नॉकआउट वाला फॉर्मेट को रिटेन कर रहा है, क्योंकि यहाँ पे भी जो ग्रुप्स है, मतलब एवरी टीम इज प्लेइंग जस्ट 3 गेम्स, 3 लीग गेम्स। और इसमें
Hmm.
एक भी मैच हारना विल बी लाइक यू विल बी
Huge
डिपेंडिंग
pressure.
ऑन अदर रिजल्ट्स
Yeah.
टू फॉल इन योर फेवर। तो वही है कि आप यहाँ पे ज्यादा स्लिप अप्स अफोर्ड नहीं कर सकते, और ड्यू को भी आपको मैनेज करना है। सो दैट्स व्हाट मेक्स थिंग्स इंटरेस्टिंग अबाउट दिस चैंपियंस ट्रॉफी।
या एब्सोल्युटली, लेकिन डाई हार्ड फैंस को मजा आएगा। लाइक बहुत फास्ट टूर्नामेंट है, 12 लीग मैचेस 12 दिन में हो जाएंगे, एंड देन वी जस्ट हैव सेमीफाइनल्स एंड फाइनल्स। सो एक्चुअली एक देखा जाए तो एक टीम को जीतने के लिए 5 स्ट्रेट मैचेस जीतना है। सो इट इज अ शॉर्ट टूर्नामेंट बट इट विल बी अ लॉट ऑफ फन। सो लेट्स मूव टू ऑस्ट्रेलिया। दिस इज आवर फर्स्ट टीम ऑफ डिस्कशन टुडे। मैंने ट्रेविस हेड का फोटो डाला है बिकॉज ही हैज बीन द स्टार फॉर ऑस्ट्रेलिया इन द रीसेंट टाइम, एंड स्पेशली अगेंस्ट इंडिया ही ऑलवेज हैमर्स देम। सो ऑस्ट्रेलिया का यही टैगलाइन मैं देना चाहूंगा कि नेवर अंडर एस्टिमेट देम, एंड ऑब्वियसली दे आर लास्ट वर्ल्ड कप विनर्स एज वेल। एंड गाइज ये मेरे हिसाब से प्रेडिक्टेड 11 है जो स्टार्ट करेगा टूर्नामेंट। एंड माई थॉट्स आर दे हैव स्ट्रॉन्ग बैटिंग स्टिल। bowling is definitely weak. Bowling is weak, there is no question about that. Lot of new players. एंड एक इंटरेस्टिंग बात यह भी है कि देयर फर्स्ट मैच इज अगेंस्ट इंग्लैंड। सो जो भी यहाँ से जीतेगा उसको थोड़ा मोमेंटम मिल जाएगा। दे आर बोथ लुकिंग फॉर मोमेंटम। दोनों थ्रैश हुए हैं, इंडिया में इंग्लैंड थ्रैश हुआ है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया इज गेटिंग थ्रैश इन श्रीलंका राइट नाउ। सो बोथ आर लुकिंग फॉर दैट मोमेंटम, सो इट विल बी वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग फर्स्ट मैच।
यहाँ पे ऑस्ट्रेलिया का वही मैं बोलूंगा कि इट्स एन इनएक्सपीरियंस साइड, बट दे आर बिल्डिंग टू द 2027 ओडीआई वर्ल्ड कप, क्योंकि उनको भी पता है कि उनके लेजेंड्स अब काफी ओल्ड हो चुके हैं। दे विल प्रोबेबली नॉट बी एबल टू सस्टेन, स्पेशली उनका फोकस जिस तरह से टेस्ट क्रिकेट पे है और डब्ल्यूटीसी फाइनल पे है। तो वो यहाँ पे थोड़ा कॉम्प्रोमाइज कर रहे हैं विद देयर यंगस्टर्स को खिला रहे हैं। स्पेंसर जॉनसन क्या मिचेल स्टार्क का जगह ले पाएगा, क्या नेथन एलिस जॉश हेजलवुड का जगह ले पाएगा, या शॉन एबॉट, क्या पैट कमिंस जैसा ऑलराउंडर है। जो पैट कमिंस का वैल्यू सिर्फ बॉलिंग में नहीं था और कैप्टनसी में नहीं था, जब उसके लोअर ऑर्डर बैटिंग में भी था,
या
क्योंकि लोअर ऑर्डर से उसने बहुत सारे मैचेस जिताए। ही इज ऑलवेज यूज्ड टू स्टैंड एट द फिनिशिंग लाइन।
शिखर हार्डी वैसे
जब भी
डिसेंट लग रहा है ऑलराउंडर। मैंने कल थोड़ा देखा था, उसने पथुम निशंका को आउट किया था, एंड ही इज कंट्रीब्यूटिंग इन द मिडिल लोअर मिडिल ऑर्डर विद सम रन्स।
नहीं, हार्डी इज अ गुड ऑलराउंडर। देख, इनको थोड़ा सीमिंग पिचेस चाहिए टू बी सक्सेसफुल, क्योंकि ये सारे बॉलर्स अच्छे हैं, बट दे नीड सम हेल्प फ्रॉम द कंडीशंस। ऐसा नहीं कि ये लोग मतलब जैसे कमिंस स्टार्क ये लोग थे, ये लोग इरिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ द कंडीशंस बहुत अच्छे अच्छे बॉलर्स थे।
करेक्ट।
बट यहाँ पे क्या है, थोड़ा मतलब अगर कैरी रहा, क्योंकि ये लोग दुबई में नहीं खेलेंगे, ये लोग पाकिस्तान में ही खेलेंगे,
यस।
जहाँ पे फ्लैट पिचेस ही ज्यादा रहेंगे मोस्टली। तो वहां पे क्या ये बॉलिंग अटैक सक्सीड कर पाएगी? बहुत ज्यादा डिपेंडेंट है ये लोग अपने एक्चुअली एडम जैम्पा पे, जिसका फॉर्म अभी खराब चल रहा है। और एडम जैम्पा इज द की टू विनिंग दिस टूर्नामेंट। अगर ऑस्ट्रेलिया को आगे भी जाना है, विनिंग तो छोड़ो, मतलब अगर सेमीफाइनल भी जाना है, तो एडम जैम्पा नीड्स टू बी एट द टॉप ऑफ द गेम। और बाकी इनको स्पिन सपोर्ट चाहिए होगा मैक्सवेल से, यू
मैथ्यू
नो,
शॉट। मैथ्यू शॉट से।
मैथ्यू शॉर्ट से, ट्रेविस हेड से। यहाँ पे एक लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर मुझे लगता है कूपर कॉनली को वो लोग ट्राई करेंगे, सो दैट मतलब कि थोड़ा एक दूसरा एंगल भी बने लेफ्ट आर्म स्पिनर का।
संघा भी है आई
तो आई
थिंक उनके
थिंक
पास स्क्वाड में, जो आज।
Hmm. But I think he's also a leg spinner, right? So
अच्छा हाँ।
I think अगर अगर जैम्पा खेल रहा है तो I don't think वो इतना,
खेलेगा।
I think उसको kind
हाँ।
of like backup लिया। I think मेरे हिसाब से I think the only thing which is missing
हम्म,
over here is like the I think depth which Australia had, right? So overall I think batting में तो obviously उनको कोई खास effect नहीं हुआ, but I think because स्टॉइनस अब
हम्म,
नहीं है, मिचेल मार्श नहीं है, so I think their batting always used to be very deep.
अभिनव
I think
आज
in
के
term
मैच में ये हुआ
hmm,
है। आज
hmm,
ऑस्ट्रेलिया वर 79 फॉर 3 चेजिंग 280। दे
hmm.
दे गॉट ऑल आउट फॉर 107। 28 फॉर 7 ये डिबैकल किया श्रीलंका ने।
No,
नहीं नहीं,
that's what I'm
फर्स्ट
saying.
मैच में भी 83 फॉर 3 थे, फर्स्ट मैच में भी 83 फॉर 3 थे, तो
तो
हाँ
आई थिंक
ये
वो
तो
वो
है।
वो उनका मेन इशू है कि अब डेप्थ जो है दैट इज नॉट देयर. आई थिंक स्पिनर्स का आई वुड नॉट कॉल दैट मच बिकॉज इफ यू रिमेंबर 2023 वर्ल्ड कप में भी व्हेन ऑल द प्रीव्यूज एवरीथिंग वाज बीइंग डन, everyone was just pointing out that everyone has like a strong spin attack, right? And Australia only has Zampa, but ultimately Zampa did perform towards the second half of the World Cup, right? And finally they did win. And यहाँ पे तो इतने मैचेस भी नहीं है उधर. आई थिंक इट वाज एन एक्चुअल कंसर्न राइट नाउ एज यू मेंशन, राइट? You have to win like five and maybe four out of five, but 5 out of 5 to be like really sure. So I think spin wise, I think they should be fine. But because अब यहाँ पे depth नहीं है, तो I think if let's say they're chasing some like maybe 300, 310 kind of a target, right? Earlier, even if they were like maybe 80 for three and all, game was still on, right? अभी क्या है कि they have to rely on
top
actual
order.
like top order and middle order. So I think इधर I think Smith, Labuschagne, I think इन लोगों का बहुत मेजर रोल है बिकॉज मैक्सवेल एंड ऑल वी नो लाइक व्हाट ही कैन डू, बट अगेन उसकी इतनी
He
रिस्की गेम
doesn't
है कि
come
यू
in
कैन नॉट
every
रिलाई.
match ना, मैक्सवेल का वही
एग्जैक्टली
है.
he'll win you one or two games here and there because obviously अब ये T20 में नहीं है तो एक इनिंग्स तो वो खेलेगा वैसे ही. But ultimately to be that anchor and guide them, Smith and Labuschagne I think are the main key given that अब डेप्थ भी नहीं है. So हाँ काफी इनको हिट तो हुआ है. I think it's not just bowling, even their overall I would say like depth as well that has taken a major impact. So काफी वीक तो हुई है उससे.
नितिन
एंड मुझे लगता है कि जॉश इंग्लिश मे बी प्रेफर्ड अहेड ऑफ एलेक्स कैरी, दैट्स जस्ट माय फीलिंग दैट आई
आई वाज
थिंक।
जस्ट गोना आस्क दैट, बट कैरी ने थोड़े रन्स बना दिए ना अभी वो श्रीलंका में, तो कंफ्यूजन रहेगा उनको. बट या जॉस इंग्लिश इज बेटर बेटर आई थिंक prospect. Maybe he can come for some other player. Maybe Matthew Short की जगह पे जॉश इंग्लिश आ सकता है. So we'll find out that. But Nitin, what are your thoughts on Australia? Like, does it still look a decent team to reach semis?
प्रतीक, इफ वी गो ऑन द टीम जो पेपर पे दिख रही है तो टीम वीक है, बट जो तुमने मेंशन किया है नेवर अंडरएस्टिमेट देम इन आईसीसी टूर्नामेंट, तो यार वही है, ऑस्ट्रेलिया को आप कभी भी हम लोग अभी कोई काउंट नहीं कर रहे, बट यू कैंट इग्नोर देम.
Yes,
और
absolutely.
उनको सबसे ज्यादा जो मिस हो गया आई थिंक वो हैजलवुड स्टार्क नहीं है, बट दे विल मिस पैट पैट कमिंस बहुत ज्यादा. नॉट ओनली एज अ कैप्टन बॉलर, वो बैटिंग में जो कंट्रीब्यूशन होती थी उसकी लोअर ऑर्डर में, वो बहुत ज्यादा मिस करेंगे.
Yeah, I think they will need Travis Head to fire in this tournament again. Okay, let's
या
move
और
to
अभी
the
जो हम
next.
इंग्लिश की बात कर रहे थे जोश इंग्लिश का, तो आई सॉ द टीम गिवन बाय आई थिंक एरन फिंच, तो उसने लाबू की जगह पे इंग्लिश को किया अपने प्लेइंग 11 में सेलेक्ट.
Yeah.
या दैट्स अ
लबू की
फेयर कॉल,
लबू की
लबुशेन का फॉर्म।
बट लबू ने वो कुछ रिस्पॉन्सिबल नॉक्स खेली है ना, सो ही माइट गेट द एज. बट गाइस लेट्स
I
टॉक
think
अबाउट पाकिस्तान, द मोस्ट अनप्रेडिक्टेबल टीम. जस्ट 2 दिन पहले इस टीम ने अपना हाईएस्ट एवर चेज अकॉम्प्लिश किया 353, एंड देन आज दे फेल्ड एंड दे लॉस्ट टू द फाइनल अगेंस्ट न्यूजीलैंड. But I am really excited to watch them because of these pictures that we saw during that South Africa match. The intent that was shown by Pakistani players, बवुमा को आउट करने के बाद स्पेशली they came to his face and उस पे ऐसा उसको दिखाया कि भाई तू जा यहाँ से. And Shaheen Afridi is looking in a good touch after a long time before an ICC tournament. So let's preview Pakistan, and I want to hear from you guys. How would you say their chances are? Karthik has also joined. Welcome, Karthik.
Hi Pratik. I caught your last 2 minutes on Australia. Uh, Very interesting. But yeah, as for Pakistan, I think the big miss obviously is youngster Saeem Ayub, who's probably is a huge miss given what he did in his first year in international cricket. So I think there are a few weaknesses here. Uh, as you can see, they've got only one spinner in their entire 15, which is Abrar. And Abrar, I would say, is a poor man's Varun Chakravarti. Tries to do something similar, but I don't see as much purchase off the pitch that he gets or anything like that.
Abrar needs his
But
Harry Potter glasses back. Actually, that's been the problem. Since he took out that Harry Potter glasses, he's been struggling big time.
no, I think if I have to see Pakistan apart from India, of course, and if they make it to the final, they'll probably be playing in Pakistan. Those are pretty much roads, and I think you need good changes of pace somehow, both from the fast bowlers as well as the spinners to even contain batsmen. Otherwise, it's going to be 350 kind of totals all all games.
Hmm.
And their biggest weakness, I feel, is chasing 350 regularly. Although they chased it the other day against South Africa, it's a B team of South Africa, let's not forget. Generally, they don't have the big hitting. They're trying someone, Tayyip Tahir, I think, in that lower middle order slot, who can come in as a finisher or not a pinch hitter, but more of a power hitter in that lower middle order. Kuzdil Shah is again uh, touted to be a player who can play spin really well and smack spin out of the ground.
He also bowled few
But I
overs.
haven't.
That's why he's there.
Yeah, of course, he's an all rounder and can bowl a few overs, left arm spinner. But I somehow I think they've left out a few like Nawaz and you know even
Pratap
I
Khan.
like that. I even like the guy who played at number four in T20s. I seem to forget his
Shadab,
name.
Shadab Khan.
Shadab Khan.
No, no,
Shadab
this
Khan.
this old guy, Shadab Khan, I know.
Iftikhar
Yeah.
Chachu.
Chachu.
Iftikhar,
Chachu is a
yes.
big miss in
I
finishing, for sure. Yeah.
I think Iftikhar is a little bit better than the guys that they have today.
Yeah.
Probably they moved on from Iftikhar because it's been a while, but it's a little interesting to see how they will match up.
Hmm.
Shaheen Shah is number eight. Look at it, right?
Yeah. No, today
Shaheen Shah is
actually
number
in
eight.
the match today, Fahim Ashraf was number 8. So again, they have a choice there. Instead of Haris Rauf, they can play Hasnan or Fahim Ashraf, who is an extra all-rounder.
Oh,
Um,
by the way, is Haris Rauf injured and possibly out of the tournament? I think he was struggling
then
last
it
time.
might be Hasnan or Fahim Ashraf then.
We'll have to see if it's that's why probably Fahim Ashraf coming in.
Yeah.
But I
Mm.
think Fahim Ashraf then will weaken their bowling lineup
Bowling.
significantly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Significantly. So, I mean, even
And
Hasnain
Naseem
will
is
weaken
also
their
not in
bowling.
form. I am seeing Naseem is not in that good form. He's not that X factor anymore.
But
Yeah,
I
I
think you
think Pakistan is
will.
going to struggle, I think.
Mm.
Sorry.
No, but no, I
Sorry,
think
go
you
ahead.
will still, yeah, still back Naseem. At least, I mean, I would say like form and all, okay, that's fine. But I think he's still their frontline bowler, right? And same goes for Shine as well. Pratik, I would say, like, I know you were saying that he's in form, but if you see, right, his initial few overs, I think pace still looks to be like back, but in between he struggles a bit, right? I mean, I was also watching this match where Klaasen was taking him
Yeah, even
out of
Philip
the
put
park,
him on.
right?
So he's having a
His
mixed
I
he's
think
a
his
mixed
death
tournament.
bowling, I think their main concern is also like the kind of even the death bowling as well from the seamers,
Yeah.
right? Spinner, anyways, I don't think they have like a quality one. Abrar, I think, is just about okay. Not much experience, anyways, with the white ball. And Shaheen,
Yeah.
Naseem, I mean, they're not bowling the way they were probably maybe 2 years back, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And then Haris Rauf, even if he's there or if he's not there, I think that's going to be like a major miss. But I think somehow they need to have Fahim Ashraf, I think, in the mix because they're, again, even with them, I think the depth is not there.
Hmm.
Plus, I mean, obviously, knowing Pakistan, it's an easy side which can go from 100 for 2 to 150 all out. We have seen too many matches like that, right? In
Yeah.
between, you need to. I mean, Fahim Ashraf obviously is not your 10-over bowler. He's more of like he'll give you like 4 or 5 overs here and there, probably score some runs at number eight or something. I think that's his main role. I think it will depend on obviously the kind of balance which they are looking for, right? I think Fahim Ashraf, I kind of consider him as like similar to kind of the Shardul Thakur which we have, right? Similar kind of, I would say,
Hmm.
cricketers where again, like they can offer both in both the departments, but again, like I won't rate them as like very high in any of the departments.
Yeah, T20 में maybe
Yeah.
they're handy, but ODI में you don't know.
ODI में, yeah.
हाँ,
ODI में they don't have. I mean, unfortunately, I think that's the best I think they have,
yeah.
Pakistan.
And
So I
No, I
think,
another
think if
another
you
concern is
if
yeah,
you
Babar
take
का
out
form.
yeah.
Babar का form has not been good. So try series maybe he hasn't able
No,
to.
I have one question. I don't want to speak much on Pakistan, but I have one question. What do you guys think about moving Babar as an opener? Is it the right move? Because we all know Babar could have played that consolidator role like Kane Williamson or
Yeah,
Virat
yeah.
Kohli. So is it the right move by Pakistan to move him
no,
up? I know it's because of
it's
Mm.
a
Saim Ayub injury.
it's a good question. I think Saim Ayub is the big miss there. Now, if you see without Saim Ayub, what options do they have, right? They probably don't have too many, at least in that 15 that I can see, unless they've, unless they
Yeah.
would have added a couple of opening options. They don't have too many, and that's led to this. But I
That's
think,
a yeah.
if
That's a
anything,
desperate choice. Yeah,
if
Babar.
anything, Babar, I think. will score quicker if he plays in the power play.
That
Because
is exactly, yeah.
my entire concern, I was going to come to that, Shikhar. You take out Fakhar Zaman, Salman Ali Aga, and Tayyab Tahir. You've got Babar, Gulam,
Rizwan.
Rizwan, all similar tempo.
Yeah.
Okay? No
And
one
even अगर गुलाम की
really
जगह South Shakil plays again similar tempo.
similar tempo. So I think the whole problem is a lot of pressure on Salman Aga, who's sort of in form, both with the bat and ball, I guess. He's also not this 150 strike rate player. He's a little better tempo wise.
So you guys are mentioning
Tayyab
big order
Tahir,
players, but I feel most pressure is on Travis Head to stay there and also give an explosive start, and same for Fakhar Zaman, like to stay there and also, uh,
absolutely. I think
yeah.
Fakhar Zaman is going to be the guy, especially against India.
And for Australia
If
also, I think
Fakhar
it's
Zaman,
Travis Head. If he hits 100, you know more than certain Australia wins the match.
yeah, I mean, sometimes these sort of players will struggle when that sort of expectation is on them. They're better left free. I think in this case, Fakhar Zaman will have a lot of pressure. I
Mm.
just don't see them making the semis. I'll be
But
very
one thing is
surprised.
there when Desi people have fire under their as they perform well, and Pakistan will have pressure from home crowd. Like
So,
they're playing at home. There
I
what is
think,
expected from them. People are already saying it should be a repeat of 2017 final should be played between India and Pakistan. So that pressure might
I'll
be Pakistan.
I'll tell you something. If India and New Zealand are playing the way they are, I mean, I don't see. I think
but
New Zealand is the dark horse here. I don't see Pakistan unless India screws up or New Zealand screws up, right? New Zealand, I don't see screwing up. So it's then going to be India between India and Pakistan, and I don't see
Pakistan is
Pakistan actually
unlucky. At
making
least
it.
this time ICC
but
should have segregated India and Pakistan in different groups. पाकिस्तान को हमेशा नुकसान हो जाता है इंडिया को अपने ग्रुप में रखने का.
yeah, but Karthik, I'll just add one thing over there. Like if on paper, right? I think on paper, India always looks super strong, and Pakistan, honestly, in the last 10 years, always looks just about average. If you see this side as well, right? And honestly, if I go back to the Champions Trophy final, right, where we lost to Pakistan, I think I can still say right now that maybe there was like only 1 out of 10 times is like when we would have probably lost to them. And unfortunately, it was that one bad day, right? So I think with
No, but I
Pakistan, that is the thing. I mean, I also don't see them like winning the cup as such, but I feel that, like at least on paper, I don't think that India and Pakistan, it doesn't even
see.
like
I'll
come
just
close.
They are not a match, absolutely.
I
Yeah,
Let's
I
see
it's
India's
agree with
11.
you,
Each
mm,
player is better than
I agree
Pakistani
with
player
you,
on their position.
mm,
but trust
yeah.
me, that Pakistani attack
He was
in
still pretty good, yeah.
2017
Yeah.
Mohammad
was
Amir,
world class.
And
Yeah.
they were
Yep.
Well,
in.
Mohammad Amir, Junaid Khan, and in form, I think, what was his
Hassan
name, the
Ali,
right arm quick
Hassan Ali.
Hassan Ali. They tore
Hmm.
apart, and then they had Ruman Raiz also, who played a couple of games.
Plus an
Now,
inform Shadab Khan as well at that point of time. Not the
so Shadab
obviously.
Khan was a
Yeah.
new
Correct.
sort of this thing,
He was
and
very good
Mm,
in
then
the beginning.
obviously Fakhar Zaman was such an unknown entity at the time that
mm.
nobody really knew it was his first major tournament. They still had the experience of Shoaib Malik if they needed
Hafiz was
to.
there. Hafiz
Hafiz
was
was
still there.
there. So
Yeah.
in
Yeah.
this lineup, I really don't see that coming through. Um,
Yeah.
yeah,
But
so
honestly, I
interesting.
would say that Pakistan is one team which will probably lose to Bangladesh and then next day defeat New Zealand or India. That's what
Yeah, yeah,
Pakistan is,
definitely.
according to me. But a
So we
That's
consistency
have
wise,
always
limited
yeah,
time, guests. Let's move to India. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
Yeah, let's
yeah,
move to India.
yeah.
So India's introduction is they are runners-up of the last Champions Trophy and they are runners-up of the last 50 over World Cup. So time to change that runners-up and please win final this time. Also, last final for again the legends Rohit and Virat. And we have a crazy coach. So it can really go either way. I'm really not sure which way it will go. So I want to hear more from you guys.
No,
यार
India, I mean,
नितिन
Nitin, yes, I'll come to you. I'll just
हाँ
say one thing that this is the best chance. This is the best chance that India has. I know there are 5 matches. You can't slip up. There is due, but it has to be now, and it has to be uh, pretty one-sided. I think India should be able, even without Bumrah, I think we should be able to manage. I'm saying this because how other teams are looking. I know there is one off game, you can never say anything, but the completeness of the squad, the form of the players, I mean, Shubman Gill and Shreyas Iyer. are in superb form. And Rohit Sharma has got some runs, Virat got some runs. Everything is looking great for India. I think it will be a terrible heartbreak if India fails to win this Champions Trophy. But everything is right and going in the right direction now. Even the replacements who have come in, Varun Chakravarti and Harshit Rana, they've had a good outing, and it's not like they're coming out of the blue. So yeah, man, I think the planning has been good till now. The only thing that is there again we have to talk about is KL Rahul at number 6. And of course, we know Hardik Pandya is a very able number 7. But again, that finishing is the only question mark in big chases or when we have to make those big scores.
And Shami,
Of
Shami or Harshit, वो भी एक, yeah. Those two things, finishing and Shami.
Yeah.
that is still okay. I mean, Shami is still a great bowler, no doubt. He proved himself in the ODI World Cup, but of course he'll have to restart his journey again in the Champions Trophy.
Yeah, let's
But
hear from
we
Nitin.
have only
Nitin,
5 minutes, so I'll let other panelists
yeah,
also
and
speak.
Nitin, you also tell me
Yeah.
if you agree with my 11 where I put Varun. So you also answer that.
नहीं, जो टीम जो प्रतीक मेंशन किया है आपने वो बहुत सही है, मतलब प्लेइंग 11 नहीं होने वाली है, बट माय ओनली कंसर्न है इफ यू आर प्लेइंग केएल प्ले हिम एट 5, कि उसके लिए आपको अपना वो लेफ्ट राइट वाला कॉम्बिनेशन जो है उसको छोड़ना पड़ेगा। आप अक्षर को टॉप ऊपर करके केएल का 6 पे कोई काम नहीं है। और
हाँ
आई डाउट कि जो इन टीम मैनेजमेंट का सोच है कि देयर इज एक्स फैक्टर इन हर्षित, तो मुझे लग रहा है कि ये लेफ्ट आर्म पेसर हर्षदीप को ड्रॉप करके हर्षित तो खिलाएंगे पहले मैच में, तो दे विल स्टार्ट विद हर्षित राणा एंड समी।
हाँ, वो हर्षित का
तो
मुझे
लेट्स
भी
सी।
लग रहा है, बट वो क्या है ना, वो कंपनसेट कर रहा है कोच अक्सर को 3 या 4 पे या 5 पे इसलिए खिला रहा है क्योंकि कोई भी और टॉप ऑर्डर में है नहीं लेफ्टी। आपने यशस्वी को तो घर ही भेज दिया, पांच पांच स्पिनर्स अकोमोडेट करने हैं।
बट केएल नंबर 6 लाइक प्लेयर तो नहीं है यार, वो खेलेगा तो 5 पे सही है, उसका
Yeah.
रिकॉर्ड भी आप देख लो तो 5 तक ओके, 6 तो बिल्कुल नहीं।
Yeah, I know it sounds weird, but अय्यर को डिमोट कर दें क्या, बिकॉज ही कैन प्ले विद दैट हायर स्ट्राइक रेट।
No way. Don't screw
No, no,
don't
no,
screw
no,
with
no.
a guy who's
That
doing
भाई
that.
will
द
be the
मोस्ट
worst.
कंसिस्टेंट प्लेयर।
Then Punch
No,
should play in place of KL. Then KL should not be continued at number 6.
no. I'm a big strong proponent that KL probably should not be an automatic starter. But I think what has been clearly told by GG in the last press
Hmm.
conference, you will see KL starting. So I mean, I don't want to be questioning the decision right now. But to be
Something which is
honest,
certain. Yeah, we can talk about
I
that.
mean, it's okay. It can come through. But to be honest, I mean, uh, अपना team without Bumrah, you know, that pace attack doesn't seem extremely strong. I am still banking on Shami to come back. I think he's loading up miles to peak at the right time. That's all I can say. I hope he does that, because if he does that, and I kind of disagree a little that Arshdeep will not be dropped for Arshit. I think Arshdeep is a lock-in.
Yeah,
मुझे
yeah.
लगता है he's the only
Yeah, I
death.
also
Hmm.
He's
I
the
agree.
only all-phase bowler. He's
Hmm.
the only
Hmm.
all-phase bowler in this team who
Yeah.
can bowl the new ball, death, and middle overs. If anybody, I think, will get the boot, it will be Shami because of lack of
Hmm.
fitness or whatever. So, but
Hmm.
Harshit again will only play in circumstances where we want to drop a spinner and play the extra seamer. My feeling,
Hmm.
he will not. He'll not be an automatic starter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think for me as well, Pratik, I think super strong squad. I think on paper, probably the strongest squad out of all the teams, at least I
Even
would say.
without Bumrah, you're saying it is the strongest. You're not saying
Yeah.
England or South Africa is the strongest.
No, no, no. Even
To
without
me, New
Bumrah,
Zealand. To me,
even
New Zealand
without
looks the strongest.
Yeah, Will Rourke just picked
yeah.
4 wickets. Yeah,
Yeah, no, no. For me, India still, because obviously looking at the venues, right? Obviously, if this was probably in some of the Sena countries, right? Then I think losing Bumrah would have been
terrible.
even a massive loss. I think in Asian condition we can still cover that up with the spinners which we have. I think my main concern is obviously just the seam attack which we have, like at least the death overs and all, right?
Yeah.
I think we, even with the ODI series which we had, right? I think most of the time we were like chasing. I know third ODI we did win that, but I
Hmm.
think there will come a situation where in between in the middle overs and probably the death as well. Maybe if you're not getting the wickets, right? Bumrah was like that one guy who you could have like brought in at any point of time, right? And he gets you that one wicket, and then obviously everything follows after that. So I feel Arshdeep, I'm still confident. And again, what Karthik was saying, right? Like I think he can kind of like come in at any situation of the game. Shami, in fact, I would say that I will probably start off with him. But if after one or two matches, I think if he's still not getting his mojo back, right, honestly, I would drop him and get Harshit.
Hmm.
I think I will not go by just the reputation, right? I know probably this will not happen because they will allow Shami more time. Because if you win two games and then third
But
one
we
more
need
or
wicket,
less, yeah.
and Harshit is providing
Yeah.
that. So we
Harshit is
need wicket.
providing that. So yeah, that is the only change I see. Otherwise, I think KL and all we can still debate, but I think knowing Rohit and GG, I think they are not going to drop KL. I think KL is going to play every single match, and Pant is yeah just going to carry the drinks. To be honest, otherwise I feel more or less no change would be done. Varun, I think it depends on the opposition. I think if it depends, like if you're like having like way too many, I would say like left-handers or the right-handers in the squad, right? I think that will maybe a change between like Kuldeep
नहीं,
and Varun.
वरुण तो खेलेगा, मुझे ऐसा
Because he
लग रहा है
picked too
वरुण
many wickets
खेलेगा
against England.
सारे मैचेस। और मुझे लगता है अगर इंडिया को ये टूर्नामेंट जीतना है आउटराइटली, तो वरुण का
तो
मे बी टॉप 3 विकेट टेकर्स में होना भी बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है वरुण के लिए, क्योंकि उसका एक
I
बहुत
think
अच्छा
which is
टूर्नामेंट होना
I think which
बहुत
is
अच्छा
fine. I think which is fine. I just hope that कि वरुण का इस बार फिर से अगेन वैसा ना हो जाए जो T20 वर्ल्ड कप में एक बार
है।
हुआ था when it was again the same venue
सेम वेन्यू।
everything and then same
इसलिए
hype
विराट की
created था.
बात नहीं करी, जैसे पाकिस्तान चिंतित है बाबर के फॉर्म से, क्या हमें वरी नहीं करना चाहिए? बिकॉज विराट का भी बस एक ही 50 आया है इस सीरीज में। सो
बट
लाइक
आई थिंक दो दो ही तो मैच खेला है आई थिंक प्रतीक दो में से एक में है सो अगेन आई थिंक वी आर एट अ लेवल वेयर honestly I think we should get over the fact that I think Virat Kohli is not the best batsman India has right now, to be honest. I think we should get over that. I think more reliance is probably, at least in my eyes, it is more on Gill, Ayer and all these guys.